Congressman, you've emerged healthy as a result, thank goodness. Your thoughts about what we're seeing, two congressmen, additional congressmen who have tested positive. Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's just really what we're seeing, Lou, and I think everybody needs to take this very seriously, very forcefully. I think they take their leadership from the president on this. The president, along with the Vice President Pence, have laid forth a very aggressive agenda to not only get therapeutics, like he talked about today with the quinine and others, to folks who are suffering, but also working still toward vaccines, but also making sure that we're getting the resources out for testing and for our helps to our hospitals, our first responders, and making sure that this is the best way that we can to, in the long run, although the numbers will go up in the short term, really flatten this curve out. I can't say enough about President Trump's leadership in this and basically the whole administration. Also our governors who have taken the steps to do this as well. But as someone who has been out and seeing what you're seeing, we know that more people are going to be infected. The question is, can we make sure that it is done in an effective way so that our panic of people of wondering what's going on can be assured that the government is doing what they can do to make sure it is good for everybody.
You know, among the governors you're talking about, two that I think most Republicans, most who follow politics would never have imagined standing shoulder to shoulder with the president, and that would be Governor Gavin Newsom of California, Governor Andrew Cuomo of New York, the nation's two largest populous states. Your thoughts about those two individuals and the leadership they're now showing?
Well, I think it shows what we've always known, and that is when we do come together, there is a time to put partisanship down. There's a time to set that aside and work together for the ones who elected us, especially those of us who stand for public office. And I'm glad to see that the governors of New York and California are working with President Trump. You know, they will still have disagreements, and that's part for the course. But at the end of the day, it's about the Americans, and that's what I love to hear from you and others when we talk about this being Americans coming together to take this seriously, to get through it, because our country is the strongest in the world, and we will not fail in this pursuit.
And to your point about the president's positive, strong approach as leader of the nation, he is talking about antivirals, therapeutic drugs. He is talking about creating vaccines. He's created these public-private partnerships, and he is making decisions based on his experience, his judgment, on what needs to be done to protect Americans and this country. And so far, he has just been, I think, extraordinary.
I think it's been great. For those of us who get to work with him and work with him on different issues, not just this issue, but watch him, but on the other issues, he is someone who does take an interest. He listens to the input coming in. He wants the best input. He don't always want to simply hear what he wants to hear. He wants to hear those differing opinions, but at the end of the day, he makes his decisions and moves forward. And it's really interesting to watch that, you know, we've always heard it for so many years how the press have always said they wanted more access to a president. They could never have more access to a president than they get with this one right here. The problem is they don't like what he says, because he just tells the truth and he moves forward with it. And I think that's what set this president apart.
I find it extraordinary that today he was joking with the members of the press about perhaps they should have better spacing and it might be necessary for them to reduce their numbers. There wasn't a single laugh among them. I don't know what the problem was. The FISA
sense of humor's gone.
The FISA extension, the Senate deal, a 77-day extension. We're not getting reform. What do you think?
Very disappointed. I think the Senate completely on this part failed. I mean, pushed this for 77 days. We had actually gave them a bill that they could have actually worked with that actually gained us something. My concern, Lou, and you and I have talked about this before, if we just put this down the line, they're hoping, I think there's some senators and maybe even some in the House who just want this to sort of go away. But for those of us like myself and Jim Jordan, Devin Nunes, Mark Meadows, so many others, John Ratcliffe, who fought so hard to find these problems in there, we want to see actual reform. This president and no president needs to go through what happens for. I mean, I'm not happy. I don't want to see this go through the House, and if it did, I wouldn't blame the president if he vetoed it and made us do it. So these are the things that we need to work on.
Congressman Doug Collins, thanks for being with us.
It's always good to be with you. Take care.
Thank you.